Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to our board meeting. We reconvened into open session. We went into executive session early, so we're back at our regular meeting. And we're on number 5, which is the presentation of our outgoing youth commissioner, Hannah Huseman. Hannah, if you would care to step up to the mic.
My name's Emily Rodman. I'm the assistant village manager, and I had the pleasure a few years ago to work with Hannah on the youth commission. I am not the staff liaison currently. That is our village clerk, Amanda Seidel, but I did have the pleasure of working with Hannah for about 1.5 years, and so I just wanted to say a couple words. Before the meeting tonight, I went back and I pulled her original application to the youth commission, which was back in 8th grade. So she has been on the youth commission for 5 years, which is one of, I think youth commissioners can start in 7th grade. So 6 years is really unusual for us to have a youth commissioner. So 5 years is about the longest we're able to keep them. So that's really phenomenal. And I know she has really grown over her 5 years with us here at the village. In looking at her application from Park Junior High, she had about 10 activities on here she was involved with in 8th grade. So I imagine that list is much longer now. And she has really been phenomenal to work with. She's been a great contributor, and I know, especially in these last couple years from talking with Amanda, that she has been really great at helping some of our younger commissioners understand the process and lead them, and really shown some leadership on the commission. She has been very involved and participated in a number of the volunteer weekends and our electronic recycling events. So I know that she's going to go on to do wonderful things, even though we hate to say goodbye to her here at the village. But I will give you, Hannah, just a minute if you'd like to introduce your family and maybe tell us what you're going to be doing now that you've graduated.
Yeah, I'd love to. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So this is my dad, John Huseman. This is my mom, Bobby Huseman, and my brother, Isaac, and my sister, Elise. Next year, I'll be attending DePaul University in Chicago, and I'm in the business school right now. Not totally sure, but that's where I'm headed. Yeah, so I'm super excited. That's where I'll be.
This young lady ready for the stage or what? She doesn't stay here. She moves over. So that's the personality that we've been able to see come forward. And as I told Hannah earlier, it's a privilege, and I speak for the board. I'm sure it's a privilege to have worked with you. You're a wonderful young lady. I know your parents are proud. We're proud of you. The door is not closed, as I mentioned later, is that hopefully someday with your leadership ability and your personality that you'll be sitting up here someday doing what we're doing now. So congratulations, welcome back at some point in time, but good luck at DePaul. Don't get too big with the business thing because we need you back here, okay? So congratulations. We're going to present Hannah with a plaque to your commission, a unique opportunity to make a difference. This certificate of appreciation is awarded to Hannah in recognition of and in appreciation for her dedicated service on the village of Grange Park Youth Commission. Congratulations, Hannah.
Thank you.
Now, Hannah, you've sat through the meeting before. So if you and your family would like to go, that's certainly acceptable. I know they may want to take you out to dinner for a congratulatory dinner or something. Okay, moving on. Public participation. Seeing none, we'll move on to consent agenda. Amanda?
The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes. Village Board meeting, May 26, 2015. Work session meeting, June 9th, 2015. Village Board executive session, June 9th, 2015. B, action prevailing wage rate. Motion to adopt an ordinance ascertaining prevailing wage rate for construction work in Cook County. C, action motion to authorize the president and chairperson of the Finance Committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers. D, action motion to authorize the village treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and July 28th, 2015, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its regular meeting to be held on July 28th, 2015.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Amanda. Village Manager's report. Julia?
Mr. President, I have just one item to report. This afternoon, I received news from Irma, our risk management pool, that the village is in receipt of an award to our Public Works Department because they went accident-free for a period of 1 year. And say what you will, but this is a very tough thing to achieve. So we're very proud.
Very good.
I think all of the street light pole accidents in this year take us out of contention for 2015. But nonetheless, I think, I know, that's the way it goes. But nonetheless, it is quite the achievement. So we will accept that on behalf of the Public Works Department, unless anyone there wants to go in for the meeting. Last minute here, but anyway, congratulations, Brennan. Good job.
Julia, congratulations to you and your fine staff, and Brendan, to your staff, and thank you for all that you do.
It is all the quality of the staff. They are
Well,
professionals.
comes from a great leader, too. Any comments from the board on the Public Works? Trustee Lautner, go first. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I would just like to echo our appreciation for your fine efforts of you and your staff. When you see awards like this, those don't come easily, and we all recognize that. Thank you very much for your efforts.
Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. Like I said at the work session, the way safety was, it's the culture. The guys work it. You get that feeling when you pull up. And also that says a lot, too, considering the winter we had with all the miles, and that's good. Congratulations to you and the crew.
Trustee
Echo,
Rocco?
thank you very much. Congratulations.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on.
I will share it tomorrow morning at roll call.
Great.
Okay, moving on to Administration Committee. Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening I have 3 items to report on from the administration area. First of all is regarding the vehicle stickers and the dog licenses that are required by July 31st at the end of next month. And our residents are reminded that the village vehicle stickers and the dog licenses must be purchased and displayed prior to midnight on July 31st of 2015. Renewal applications were mailed to each home in early June. And to renew your license, please correct any incorrect pre-printed information on your renewal application and return it with payment to the Village Hall for processing. If you have not received a renewal application, blank forms are available at the Village Hall. Vehicle stickers may be purchased at the Village Hall during regular business hours or at the police desk after hours, and you may also mail your renewal application and payment to the Village of LaGrange Park here at 447 North Catherine Avenue, LaGrange Park, Illinois 60526. The second item is regarding the new sewer backup prevention program, and this is an exciting program that's been recently announced and made available to our residents. And regarding it, the Village of LaGrange Park is pleased to announce a program to assist single-family homeowners with the cost of plumbing improvements to address sanitary sewer-related backups. The program is being administered on a first-come, first-served basis and will provide 50% reimbursement of eligible sewer-related costs, subject to a maximum reimbursement of $3,000 for backflow devices or $5,000 for overhead sewers. The goal of the program is to encourage our homeowners to improve their quality of life, of course, and to enhance property values through the reduction of sanitary sewer backups. To accomplish this goal, $50,000 has been budgeted and approved by this board for the period of May 1st, 2015 through April 30th, 2016. And for more information on this program, we're encouraging our citizens to visit the village website at www.lagrangepark.org. And the third item to report on is regarding the sprinkler regulation reminder for our citizens as we head into the summer season. Our residents are reminded that the Village of LaGrange Park has sprinkler regulations that are in effect from May 15 to September 15 of each year. All residents bearing odd-numbered street address may use water for sprinkling lawns on days having an odd-numbered calendar day. All residents bearing an even-number street address may use water for sprinkling lawns on days having an even-number calendar day. The village may impose stricter regulations to conserve water as needed in the event of prolonged hot and dry weather, or due to conditions that impact our ability to maintain adequate water pressure and supply. And that concludes my report from the administration area this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. The building department activities for May 2015 are as follows. 167 building permits were issued this past May as compared to 168 permits issued in May of 2014. Year-to-date, the village has issued the same amount of permits as the same time last year. The estimated construction costs for the month are nearly the same as what they were for May of 2014, while permit fees collected are slightly up. 148 inspections were conducted this past May, with 19 of those not approved. Following a couple of plan resubmittals and meetings and inspections regarding site concerns, the permit for the new home at 27 Elmwood was issued during May. During the month, staff continued to meet to finalize the program for the sewer backup prevention, and site work began for the project to take place at the Cook County Highway Garage property. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Engineering Capital Projects, Trustee Casera.
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening I have 4 items to report on. First item, Suburban General Construction has completed all work on the 2015 sewer repair program. This single project was performed over 2 fiscal years to allow the village to realize the financial benefits of contracting for a larger project. There were no service interruptions to residents, with only minor roadway access limitations for brief periods. Second item, construction under an Illinois Department of Transportation contract has begun on the Kemen Avenue resurfacing project from 31st Street to 26th Street. Concrete replacement and repaving should be completed by late June, with only landscape and restoration elements waiting for favorable weather conditions. Item 3, the repaving of Cleveland Avenue from 30th Street to 26th Street by G&A Paving started on May 26th and is to be completed by the end of June. Driveway access to the roadway will be limited for a few days for residents receiving replacement curb in front of their driveway aprons. This will impact approximately 12 homes. As with the Kemen Avenue project, final landscape restoration may need to be postponed until early fall, depending upon weather conditions. Fourth and final item, plans and specifications have been prepared for the resurfacing of Pine Tree Lane and the portion of Finsbury Lane that was not part of the McNaughton development. The village is seeking to use motor fuel tax funds for this work. The Illinois Department of Transportation must review and approve all documents prior to bidding, along with any subsequent contracts the village may enter into. The tentative bid date for the village to receive sealed bids is July 6, 2015, with the possible award date of July 14, 2015. Work could begin in August, with completion expected in mid-September. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Casera. Public Safeties, Trustee Messick.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll start with the Police Department summary of activities for May of this year. The total number of crimes reported continues to remain lower than last year. To date, all reported crimes are down approximately 9% when compared to the total crimes reported through May of last year. Overall, police service and assistance is also slightly lower than last year at this time, with 2,831 incidents reported through May 2014 as compared to 2,542 incidents as compared to 40. They got the same date twice, but through May of last year. So, Probationary police officer David Escamilla graduated from the Cook County Police Academy, which is set forth in the core curriculum established by the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. The program was held at Triton College, and he has begun field training as of last Wednesday. After a detailed interview process, the following candidates were selected to join the police department. Part-time police officer Chris Gardner has begun his basic training with the department. Chris is presently employed as a certified full-time police officer for the Village of Indian Head Park. He will primarily be assigned on 1 or 2 days per week during the afternoon shift. In addition, auxiliary police officer Brad Lautner also began his training employment in the police department and will assist with crowd control, parking at special events, middle school dances, or graduations, etc. We look forward to all of them being an asset to the police department. The police department also has ended another successful year of the Adopt a Cop program in conjunction with Forest Road, Brook Park, and St. Louis schools. This is related to the grade levels of kindergarten through 8th, and I kind of moved that one out of order just because I wanted to mention what a wonderful program that is. My oldest daughter, who's 23 years old, just the other day mentioned Adopt a Cop, and she said she remembered Detective Ed and and also the commander as the people that were in her program. And I hope someday maybe we can find funding or grants to bring the camp back too. And so that concludes the police department report. On to fire department activities for May. As requested for insertion into the village board meeting agenda packet. EMS responses for this month, 176. There have been 712 year-to-date compared to 634 year-to-date in 2004. Fire and rescue incidents this month are 46. There have been 192 year-to-date compared to 249 year-to-date in 2014. Fire department personnel provided EMS coverage for the annual Run for the Roses. Personnel also staffed an engine and ambulance to assist LaGrange with covering calls north of the BNSF Railroad during the pet parade. Also, additional personnel attended the parade with the ladder truck. Personnel assisted with fire evacuation drills at all schools throughout the month. During the month, personnel attended the EMS Week Appreciation Breakfast sponsored by Loyola Hospital EMS, where some of our personnel received recognition for resuscitating a resident who was in cardiac arrest. Personnel attended the Memorial Day service with an engine and ambulance at Memorial Park Wall on May 31st. Personnel provided a fire truck display for a year-end event at Ready Teddy, and they also attended 5 block parties. Personnel attending the celebration honoring the life and family of Becca Mueller at Forest Road School on the evening of May 29th, and they participated in a tug-of-war contest against the police, school, staff, and students. And that concludes the Public Safety Report. Mr. President, there are no action items.
Thank you, Trustee Messick. Okay, Public Works Committee, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following is the monthly report for Public Works activities for May this year. Brush pickup took place the first full week in May. 115 day shift hours were spent making several passes through town, removing approximately 180 yards of brush from the parkway. 9 trees, all under 13 dBH, which were diseased with the emerald ash borer, were removed from the village parkway during 44 day shift hours. 132 regular hours were spent on the maintenance of public works equipment and vehicles. Over 16 hours were spent delivering approximately 126 yards of mulch to residents. 95 hours were spent filling potholes with approximately 23 tons of UPM. 56 tons of UPM were also used for a large patch on Scottdale Road. 148 day shift hours were spent on building and grounds maintenance around the Village Hall, Public Works facility, and along 31st Street. The street sweeper cleaned over 161 miles of street during 80 hours and picked up 73 yards of debris. Barricades were delivered for 2 block parties during the month. Various work orders were completed with crews removing roadkill, tree trimming, individual brush pickups, parkway repairs, cleaning sewer catch basin, and making sign repairs. Various repairs and preventative maintenance were performed on public works vehicles, police units, fire vehicle and equipment, and building department unit vehicle. Water Department operations, over 366 day shift hours and 32 overtime man hours during the month of May were spent on maintenance and repairs of sewers and water mains. 37,670,000 gallons of water were purchased from the Brookfield North Riverside Water Commission. 1,527 water meters were read in Section 2. 50 monthly accounts and 21 final meter readings were taken. Various inspections, appointments, and service calls were performed. 15 water bacterial samples were taken and all samples passed. 152 utility locations were identified prior to excavations. 1 service line and 1 water main were repaired. 4 Buffalo box repairs were made. 2 new fire hydrants and 1 fire hydrant modification kit were installed. And moving on, Mr. President, I have, next is to approve payment of $14,957 to Suburban Tree Consortium for the purchase and planting of 46 trees. As a member of the Suburban Tree Consortium, the village has contracted with Wilson Nurseries over the past 10 years to provide trees. The village had previously received an order confirmation from Wilson Nurseries for 46 trees to be purchased in May. Furthermore, the Suburban Tree Consortium membership provides the services of the landscape contractor Pugsley and LaHaye for delivery and planting of these trees. During the second week of May, 46 trees were planted by the contractor throughout the village. And in the fiscal year 2015-2016 budget, there is $20,000 budgeted in the capital project fund 07-40-4-450 for this purchase. Therefore, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve authorizing payment in the amount of $14,957 to Suburban Tree Consortium.
Second. Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Trustee Sheehan?
Yeah, 46 is a small dent. If you drive through the village lately, all the trees that are coming down, it's just a shame what this board has done, but 46 is a start.
Any other comments from the board? Trustee Lautner?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Question I would have is how many more do we plan for this year to fill up the rest of the budgeted amount, or?
We'll do the remainder of the budget amount, plus we'll do some additional with resident purchases covering the cost for those.
Okay, and that's second half of the year, obviously, or whatever, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, moving on. Finance Committee, Trustee Rocco.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's nothing, no action items. I just have the monthly report. We're completed 1/12 or 8% of the fiscal year, which began obviously in May 1st, 2015, and runs through April 30th, 2016. Highlights are the fiscal year-to-date general fund revenue is at 7% of the annual budget. Revenues are approximately $68,000 greater than last year at this time. Sales tax receipts are about 16% higher than last May, but lower than recent months. June receipts are 13% lower than last year, so the May increase is likely due to timing of tax filings. Natural gas taxes have dropped about 62% from last year. The prior receipts were unusually high due to extremely cold weather. Telecommunication tax receipts continue a downward trend and are about 10% lower than last year. Permit revenue is lower than last year by about $14,000. Last May's total included some large commercial remodeling projects. Intergovernmental revenue is 21% greater than last year due to increased receipts from state shared revenues, including income tax, personal property replacement tax, and the use tax. Charges for services are about $38,000 higher than last year due to ambulance fees, which can fluctuate significantly due to the timing of collections. Fine revenue is about 45% higher than, than the prior year due to the police department's use of the state-local debt recovery program to collect unpaid tickets. And the total revenue fund expenditures are within expectations at 6% of the annual budget and essentially flat compared to last year. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Rocco. Other reports, Village Clerk?
I have nothing to report, Mr. President.
Village Engineer is not here tonight. Our Village Attorney?
I have nothing to report, Mr. President.
Motion to approve Committee and Collectors reports.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I just have a couple items, just to remind the board that next Monday is our strategic planning session on capital projects and financing options. That's 6 o'clock down in the community room. Kemen Avenue, I mean, if anybody has driven on Kemen Avenue since Friday, it is absolutely gorgeous. Congratulations, good work. It just turned out really beautiful. Golf outing, again, the golf outing is coming up. The proviso, July 15th at 3 o'clock in Hillside at the golf course.
Fresh Meadows. Fresh Meadows.
Fresh Meadows Golf Course. If anyone else is interested, I know Trustee Zora responded to me. If anyone else would like to golf or attend the dinner, please let me know ASAP. I have two correspondence that I'd like to briefly read. One is, Dear Mr. Scipio, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Police Commander John Strezzo, Sergeant Joe Rankin, and Code Officer Rob Wiersba. They have lived at this address for the past 10 years. They raised their family and have many positive attributes LaGrange Park offers. I believe the village promotes community involvement, maintains a secure environment for its residents. There was an incident with a neighbor. My wife and I brought this matter to the attention of the LaGrange Park Police Department and Building Department within a matter of weeks. Mr. Wiersba noted many zoning violations to the property and brought them to the attention of the property owner. Commander Strezzo and Sergeant Rank ensured there was more police presence in the neighborhood, which gave my three daughters a sense of security while playing outside. This reaffirms we made the right decision 10 years ago to move into such a safe and respectable community. Once again, I would like to thank the police and building department, especially Commander Strezzo, Sergeant Rank, and Code Officer, Enforcement Officer Wiersba for their valued assistance. And I also received a correspondence from Commissioner Tobolski from Cook County Board of Commissioners. Dear Mayor DeCipio, congratulations on receiving $46,000 in Cook County JAG funding. As the chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security and Emergency Management, I am proud when municipalities in my district are successful in obtaining funding for critical public safety needs. I am committed to ensuring that our communities receive their share of county resources and welcome ideas for future collaborations between your municipality and Cook County. Please contact me if I can ever be of assistance. Commissioner Jeff Tobolski. That's all that I have. Any public participation? Seeing none, any new business? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.